I'm Heather Lang-Cassera. I am the outgoing Clark County, Nevada Poet Laureate, and I am so incredibly excited to be here today because I am going to introduce you to our new Clark County Poet Laureate. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the segment, Tes Souhaits.
Thank you so much, Heather. It's such an honor to be here with you. I'm so excited for the opportunity to serve the community as a laureate. I really just I can't say enough about how excited I am. I'm really looking forward to getting back on the east side and starting some programs for folks over there. But don't worry, everyone, we're gonna be all over the county. We'll be all over Summerlin, Henderson. I'm even gonna try to make it out to the Paiute tribe and really just get everyone involved.
Oh, that's so exciting. And you grew up on the east side, is that correct? Do I have that right?
Yeah. So shout out to the east side. I grew up right off of Cheyenne and Walnut, or else on Nellis and Washington, because anyone who knows the east side knows that we never live in one place long enough. And I graduated from Desert Pines High School, so that's always going to be my home.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, so shout out to your home. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
I am just over the moon thrilled that you have been selected as our next laureate. You are going to be amazing.
Thanks.
I'm just thrilled. So congratulations, congratulations. How are you feeling about it all?
Honestly, it's a little bit, it feels, I like, just to take it from the conversation we were just having, it feels a lot like divine timing is a thing that, I was thinking about the laureateship and knowing that I wasn't ready to take on that kind of responsibility, but thinking that I wanted to someday when I was in grad school in 2015, 16, right? And so it's awesome to be, and I even actually applied, I think, when you were selected as well. And so it was such but I feel like I wasn't ready yet. So it's so nice to have come through my stages of development, to have gone through the graduate program at UNLV, to have started my career as a poet, and then to be able to bring all of that to the community, So I'm just I'm excited and I feel ready.
Awesome. Yeah, I completely understand that. So I followed Vogue Robinson, and before that was the inaugural Poet Laureate, Bruce Isaacson, and I am so grateful that they came before me and that they were there to support me through everything. So they say that once you're a Poet Laureate, you are always a Poet Laureate, and that's really true in this community, it seems. You have a support system, and I know that both Bruce and Vogue, they still do tons of programming out in the community. So we've got you. We're here for you. We're happy to celebrate you. Just reach out anytime. It's going to be amazing. Just absolutely amazing.
I do feel super supported. Vogue and Bruce have already reached out and used, so I'm I do feel super supported. Thank you.
Excellent. That makes me so happy. So I am thrilled not only because of what you do for the community, but also because of your poetry. You're just an excellent poet. So our viewers at home, some of them are poets, some of them read poetry, but some are maybe less so. Maybe don't think about poetry as much as we do, which we think about it a lot, of course. So would you be willing to chat just a little bit about why poetry? Why do you read poetry? Why do you write poetry? What is it about poems that brings you to them or brings them to you?
Yeah, I like the way that you said that, what brings poems to you. So, I write poetry for a lot of reasons, but I think the most central reason is that poetry is the best tool that I've found to expand my understanding of myself and to deepen my understanding of myself in the world around me. There was a teacher I had who told me that a good poem, you know that you wrote a good poem when you finish and you look up and the world looks different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's that's, I think, growing up on the east side, it's not all, the east side has a rap, we know that the east side has a rap, but it's not all grim, it's not all poverty and struggle, though that is real. And I think that poetry helped me to see what else was there when my vision was so narrow and was made narrow by my circumstances. And I think because of that, poetry is always going to have a place in my heart that is really close to me, and I want to share it with other people, and I want other people to have a practice of poetry. So even if you're not a poet, even if you don't think of yourself as a poet, poetry can be great for you. It's just like music, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that all of us can benefit from, all of us can use, and all of us we can all sing, even if we're not going to be rock stars, and so that's kind of what brought me to poetry.
Absolutely, that's excellent. I got chills when you were talking about how a poem can make you see the world in a completely different way. That resonates with me so much. I didn't always love poetry. I had some really bad poetry experiences when I was in like middle school, high school,
As many of
undergrad.
us do with Robert Frost.
Right, right, just things that did not resonate with me. I didn't understand it. I was like, how does this relate to the things going on with us? Right, so I tend to think that if folks think that maybe they don't like poetry, maybe they just haven't found the right poems yet. So
I'm a total believer of that. I'm a total believer of that. I actually finally, like the first poems that I liked were poems from Def Poetry Jam,
yes.
Like HBO's Def Poetry Jam. And it was always slam poets, and it was never the poets I was assigned in English class until I got, I do want to shout out like Clark County School District, a few teachers, Miss Moss and Miss Nikolai when I was in my junior and senior year of high school. Those teachers definitely changed my life for the better in the way that they introduced me to like fantastic literature and poetry. So always grateful to them.
So I could chat about poetry all day, especially with you, Sin. I am just so thrilled. But I think without further ado, we should let our viewers hear some of your amazing, exquisite, exciting, important poetry. Would you be willing to read a poem for us?
Of course, of course, of course. I got the perfect one for you.
Excellent, thank you.
So this poem is actually, a lot of my poems are dedicated to Las Vegas, or are poems of Las Vegas. This one actually has the city in the title. This is titled after the Jay-Z song, which is titled after the Bobby McLean, Heart of the City. Ain't No Love, Heart of the City.
Ooh, excellent.
The city is like history, haunted, full of heroes and never peaceful. It ironed the fight into my veins, creased my palms to a fist, branded me a fire, and begged for my caution. Said, stay, like it didn't know fire either moves or dies. My restlessness is a survival trait I inherited or learned. I wonder which it is from my rage. I just wish we needed warriors. Lord, I would burn the fields and fall for a calm. Some surrender, not ours, some funeral, not ours. It's wild how I've been taught to cut, bleed, and cauterize. Make my body weapon, make my body keloid, dying to be loved, killing for some tenderness mama couldn't promise me. Because mama can't promise revolution, can't promise love in the city with its evicting gaze and arresting touch. So we pray and prepare, curl our hands around backpacks, billfolds, pill bottles, pistol grips, each other's grip, everything a weapon or remedy. This was my first lesson. So when my niece pulls my palm to her cheek, giggles and kisses my skin calloused with its history, I wonder what she thinks, weapon or remedy. She asked me to hold her up, spin her like a princess, so I spin her, and she hums proud through a big smile. My niece asked me to hold her, sure that this is what my hands are for.
Oh my goodness, that was exceptional. I've had the honor of reading that poem, and it was amazing then, and it's even more amazing in your voice. Thank you, Sin. Thank you so much for sharing your work with us.
Thank you for having me so much. And thank you, County. Thank you guys for having me. I just hope that I can really just follow in the footsteps of you, Vogue, and Bruce. You guys have done so many amazing things. And if I can build on that, then that would be great.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means so much. So thank you so much to Clark County for all of the ways they support the arts and also specifically poetry, which has my heart, of course. Thank you for supporting, Clark County poetry programming. So I just want to invite you to keep coming out for poetry, whether that is through virtual means or, face-to-face events. There's so much poetry happening in our community through Bruce Isaacson, through Vogue Robinson. I'm going to keep contributing poetry because I'm definitely not letting go of you folks. You're amazing. You've made my heart so full. It's just brimming. And I am just incredibly thrilled for everything you are going to do. Our brand new Clark County, Nevada Poet Laureate, Sin Tes Souhaits. So thank you for spending some time with us. And I'm just excited for the next 2 years. Take care, everybody.